explain to you why Hannah doesn't eat. Recently I've kind of realized that some of you don't really understand why she doesn't eat, and I wanted to fully explain to you what it means to have oral aversion. So pretty much what oral aversion is that you don't like anything in your mouth, whether it be because you've had trauma or because you just don't want it in your mouth or anything. It's just oral aversion. Like, you can also have texture aversion. So like some of you can probably relate to this, not wanting to touch like tin foil or cotton, or there's like sound, like kind of like aversion, like scraping your nails on the chalkboard. I'm trying to think, like the feeling of chalk. And the same thing goes for in your mouth. Now Hannah has had texture aversion and she has oral aversion, and her texture aversion I feel like is like gone, so that's like an improvement already from where we started. So the cause for oral aversion is trauma to the mouth and not eating when you're supposed to. So because she was born at 29 weeks, usually they don't eat until their term. So like until they were 40 or 38 weeks is when they would start eating, and that would be naturally. Like premature babies, just for some reason, even though they're out, they still want to start eating around those same weeks. But Hannah didn't get to do that because she was intubated for the first, I think, 4 months, and then she was on CPAP, and you can't eat when you're on CPAP or BiPAP, and that's when they like put something on your nose. The only time you can start eating is when you have low flow, and that's just because there's so much pressure and stuff you can't really swallow. It's not safe for them to swallow. So she was probably about 6 months old before she finally was on low flow and could try to eat. And 6 months had already gone by of her having a breathing tube shoved in and out of her mouth, having an NG tube shoved down her nose and in her mouth. So those are kind of the trauma things, because there's nothing happy associated with the mouth. Like, you know, eating and putting things in your mouth and exploring new textures is fun, but it's not fun once you've had trauma, like being shoved into your throat, having things shoved into your nose, and having like suction. You have to get suction, so this thing just goes in your mouth and it's like you swallowing, but a machine does it for you. And all of those things is what pretty much caused the oral aversion. If you've been following us for a while, Hannah used to puke when she would get paint on her. She used to puke when food would come to her mouth. She used to like not put anything near her mouth. She used to not put toys near her mouth. She used to not take sips of water. She used to not drink anything. She's made huge improvements. That is why she doesn't eat. The trach has nothing to do with why she doesn't eat. I think people with trachs, they have a harder time eating because they're swallowing now, and it's like a small tube next to a small tube that has a tube in it, and so it's harder to get food around there. But Hannah isn't even really to the point where she swallows. Like, she's just starting to swallow the water, but if you put like something in her mouth, something falls in her mouth, she freaks out and gets it out. It's not like she's ever had the chance to swallow because she's not there yet. She's not comfortable with that. So I don't think when the trach comes out, I'm not planning for when the trach comes out that she'll be any more interested in food. The only thing I can see is that the trach kind of limits how much you can smell and how much you can taste. So maybe she might be more interested in food, but then she still won't be comfortable with the pieces being in her mouth, so she'll be tasting it, but I don't think that the swallowing or the actual eating of the food will really have changed. Right now, ideally, I think it would be a miracle if the gtube is out by the time she's 10, and I guess that her trach would be out around now, so I feel like I'm pretty right about when. She might start eating, like maybe in the next year she'll probably start eating, but I don't think she's going to be able to eat her calories worth of food for a pretty long time. Not to mention she has a short gut, so I don't know if the short gut's going to make it harder to, it's going to like digest really fast, so then she will need the gtube to like kind of like compensate for that, because she probably will be eating less, and then her gut will like really like speed it up, the digestion, so then she won't really like hold on to any calories, and then we'll have a hard time gaining weight. I feel like weight struggle is something that we are going to see when the gtube is gone. Pretty much, I think that sums it up. I am really impressed with how Hannah's doing. We're still doing feeding therapy, and I made a video like a long time ago. Like, this is like the worst quality video ever. It's so long ago. What we are doing and like our method, and I'll leave that in the description below. You can go check it out. If it changes, or maybe if I feel like there needs to be an updated feeding therapy plan, that's what we'll do. But pretty much, we just want her to play with food. We want her to bring it to her mouth. You know, we want her to smell it. We want her to taste it. Katie on the flip side, Katie and Colin, I started watching the their method to baby-led weaning or something. I've never really heard it. It kind of seemed like the same thing. Like you want the baby to bring it to their mouth because it's negative when you shove it. Like who wants something shoved in their mouth? That's why we're not forcing Hannah to eat. She needs to want to eat. And she's made huge improvements. Like she's drinking and eating soup and she plays with the food and she can pick up a pepper now and you know, she just, yeah. So anyways, I hope you understand a little bit more about why Hannah doesn't eat. I'll see you in our next video. Bye.